Hello, everyone. This is something new that I'm trying to do. I know I've talked about how important English pronunciation has been to me, and I'm sure a lot of you agree with me, and the importance of going back to the basics, learning and relearning how to pronounce each vowel and consonant. So I'm starting something new on my channel. I will start making these very short videos about each individual sound in English, that is each vowel or consonant. And I will start with how to pronounce each vowel in English, because I feel like a lot of times how our English sounds depends largely on how our vowels sound like. So I will start with that, and I will try to cover every single one of them, just because a lot of times when we think that we're pronouncing this particular vowel right, we're actually still missing some things. So even for those of you who can pronounce every single one of them correctly, make sure you check out some of the techniques as well. Make sure that everything is in the right place and you're pronouncing it in the most efficient, in the most effortless way. And I will keep every video as short as I can, so that if you do want to go back and rewatch it, you can, or you can just put it in your collection file and then to rewatch it again. So you can see on the screen that this is going to be the textbook that I'm using. It's very easy to find online. If you just search by name, you can easily find the PDF version of it. So I'm not gonna share it here. And I'm not to say that this is the textbook. There are so many great textbooks about English pronunciation in the market that you can use. But the reason why I like it is because it lays out a very clear structure, and which you will see in a bit. So today I want to cover one sound, which is the E sound. It's the long sound E. It's probably one of the easier ones in the English language, just because we have something similar in Chinese still. I'm going to cover the techniques for pronouncing this sound, and I will provide you with some sample pronunciations of words and maybe sentences. We'll see how it goes. So when we're pronouncing this sound, before you start, there's certain things you need to understand. First, this is a very long sound, as in E. So usually long sounds, long vowels in English are often the ones being stressed. So we won't talk about stress too much yet, and I may touch upon that once we've finished all the vowels. But usually what it means is, because it's a longer sound, you have to hold the sound longer than the rest of the syllables. That usually means that the muscles in your mouth are tense. They're tenser than when you're pronouncing those shorter sounds. So when we're pronouncing this particular one, first, if you look at the picture here, the corners of our mouth are pulled up, so it looks like we're smiling. And you can't see the inside of the mouth here, but basically two things you need to remember. First, when you're pronouncing this sound, the tip of your tongue should be held at the back of your bottom teeth. And you can take a couple seconds to kind of feel that. Second, the top teeth should be touching the top of your tongue. So it almost feels like you're trying to bite into your tongue, but you're not. Don't do that. So that should be how everything feels like inside your mouth when you're pronouncing this. So with those techniques in mind, I want you to try practice the sound again. E. E. All right. So now I want you to look at some actual words, and I will apply some of the things that I've said to these words. That's what I would suggest anyways. Always start with the sound itself. Make sure you understand all the techniques. Make sure you are doing them. Once you've become comfortable with the techniques, you've understood what they mean, you are able to do it rather effortlessly. That's when you should move on to the words. A lot of people start with the words, or even worse, starting with the sentences. When you do that, you're kind of, putting the horse before the cart. You're not ready. a lot of the sounds, or I should say most of the English sounds, are not available in Chinese. Maybe there are similar sounds in Chinese, they sound similar to our ears, but that doesn't mean that the techniques to pronouncing them are the same. So you need to really differentiate that. All right, so I will read very slowly through these words, and feel free to follow me, or feel free to rewind and go back to listening to it again. Let's start with this one. Eat, eel, east, easy, each, even, equal, eagle, eager, either, mean, need, keep, deep, seal, leave, reach, seen, please, police, he, be, key, tea, fee, tree, knee, free, she, agree. All right. So you might notice that when I'm pronouncing these words, obviously when I'm actually saying it in daily conversations, they're not going to be as long. But that's what I want to emphasize here. When you're practicing a particular sound in a word, I want you to, especially when it comes to a long vowel, I want you to exaggerate the length of the sound. That's really important because that's something that we don't have in the Chinese language. In the Chinese language, every character pretty much takes up the same amount of time. So that's why it sounds like it has a very particular rhythm. But when we're trying to speak English, we know that English sounds like a nice flow of up and down, fast and slow, that sort of thing. And it doesn't work if you are pronouncing every single English sound within the same length. So that's why we have the longer vowels and the shorter vowels. And when we're practicing the longer vowels, it's very important for you to exaggerate the length of the sound and make sure that you remember, your brain remembers that it is a long vowel. And you will find this extremely helpful later on when we're covering some of the shorter sounds. You'll see kind of the difference. All right, I'm really sorry that this video is a bit longer than expected, but then again, it's our first one, so in the upcoming ones, I'll try to keep it shorter, more to the point. So please let me know if you enjoy this kind of video, and let me know if you have any suggestions towards it. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video.